today and I'm going to head into the kitchen and make a slow cooker chocolate pudding. I call this my chocolate lava cake. If you don't cook it for too long, then you'll get a nice saucy centre to this cake. Of course, you can cook it for longer and let it just completely firm up, so it's up to you. But it's super delicious, and the great thing about this is, of course, it's nice and easy. Using your slow cooker as well, you can walk away, you can go out for the day, do what you need to do and come back to an absolutely gorgeous pudding. So I really hope that you enjoy this recipe. If you do, don't forget to give me a like. And I don't know if you have already seen, but I've got my brand new Christmas cookbook available now on pre-order. So go and grab yourself a copy of that at www.susannahskitchen.uk. Let's go and start cooking. And don't forget, if you're new here, subscribe to my channel for more Ninja Foodi recipes.
You can make this in any slow cooker, so it doesn't have to be in a Ninja Foodi. The method is going to be exactly the same. Over here, I've just weighed out my butter and I've got 2 different sugars in here. So you're going to need 100 grams of unsalted butter, and then that little bit extra for greasing that we just used, 100 grams of golden caster sugar and 50 grams of light brown sugar. And now we just want to beat these together until they become pale and fluffy. Now I'm going to add in my eggs. You're going to need 3 eggs. So let's crack those in. And now just mix those on a low speed just until they're really well combined. I've taken it off the mixer now because we can fold everything else in by hand. So the first thing I'm going to add in is my self-raising flour. And we're going to need 250 grams. So let's measure that in. I'm going to need 50 grams of cocoa powder. This one's a real nice, rich, dark cocoa. And that is perfect for this recipe. Little tiny bit more, there you go. So that's the one that I'm using. We need a teaspoon of baking powder. So just measure that. And then I've got in here some espresso powder. And don't worry, it isn't really going to taste of coffee. It's very much just something that enriches it. It's got that kind of flavour that emphasises the chocolate. And it is really just a small amount. I mean, if you're worried, you can leave it out, but I think it really does help. It's only half a teaspoon. A little pinch of salt. It's always good with some chocolate. And then very last thing is some dark chocolate chips. If you haven't got dark chocolate chips, but you've got a bar of dark chocolate, you can just cut that up and add that in. And now you can just fold all of this together. It doesn't take very long. This is a nice recipe because it's really easy just to chuck all of this together and then put it onto slow cook, and you can just walk away and you can leave it. So it's ideal. Now you can see this looks quite dry and it's not really coming together as it normally would with a cake of some sort. And that's where the milk comes in. So you want 100 to 150 mils of milk. Doesn't really matter, to be honest, what milk it is. Mine's semi-skimmed. If you've got whole milk, it's going to work just as well. I'm sure skimmed will be fine. And as you can see, that really then starts to loosen that up. A little bit more, mix again. And now we're starting to get a dark, dark cake mixture. Last little bit in there. So this is 100 mils that I've put in so far. And if I feel like it needs a bit more, we'll go with that extra 50 mil. You want to get to a point where this kind of falls off the spatula in like a dollop. So I'm just going to just wait and get this more combined before I make a decision, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to want that extra 50 mil of milk. So let's add that extra in. And then give it another mix. We're getting into that season where we're wanting more comforting dishes, autumn dishes, trying to bring you a few more slow cooker recipes, because I know quite often, you know, even if you haven't got the Ninja Foodi, we all start to get our slow cookers out, don't we, as the weather turns. We want those casseroles and really easy, nice food that is warm and just delicious when you come back from work or school or wherever you've been. Okay, this is looking good now. Look, you can see now, takes a little while, but it will fall off. And that is how you want the mixture. So let's scrape that in to the bottom of my Ninja pot or your slow cooker. And now I just spread that out so that it covers the bottom, the base of your pot that you've got, that you're using. Now we're on to making our sauce. So we need to make this before we can put it onto slow cook, because that is going to go on top of the cake mixture that we've already made. In my bowl here, I'm going to need 200 grams of light brown soft sugar. I've also put in 25 grams of our dark cocoa powder, another half a teaspoon of that espresso powder, and then half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. This is the one that I'm using here. And this vanilla extract is so much better than essence. It's going to give you a much stronger flavour, so you only need a small amount. Now we just add 300 millilitres of water, and this has just come from a boiled kettle. So that is going to melt this and create our sauce. Give that a little stir together until that is all dissolved and it's nicely combined. Smells absolutely beautiful. I'm looking forward to serving this evening. That looks good. I think we're now ready to pour that over. Now carefully pour this over, just like so. Just going to go the other way and just make sure that is covered. Sorry if you can't see what I'm doing very well. It's difficult to show you, and do that carefully. There you go. It's all in. And now we can get this on to slow cook. So just select your slow cook function. There is mine, and you've got a choice really. You can do this on high for around 3 hours, or you can go on to low, and that's what I'm choosing to do, for around 5 to 6 hours. You want the cake to spring back when you press down on it, so that you know that it is cooked, and it's also going to be well risen as well, so that's going to give you a clue to know that it is completely cooked. So I'm going to go low, and I'm going to go the full whack. I'm going to go 6 hours, and that is going to be ready for us this evening perfectly. I'm going to serve up some of this gorgeous chocolate pudding. It is so rich, and that sponge is really light. It's got a lovely sauce to it. It's lovely and moist. Look at that. Really, really beautiful. I've served it with a scoop of honeycomb ice cream. This is a really indulgent, easy pudding. I hope you give it a go. It's a perfect winter warmer made in the slow cooker. I think you're going to really love this recipe.